Welcome, friends. This video is about retrogression of the planets, whether they are good or bad in a birth chart. Let's have a look. Now, first, the astronomy part of it. The given example is of year 2020, and example is about the Mercury retrogression. So, as you can see here, the relative position of Sun, Earth, and Mercury and the movement throughout the year is provided. So while the Earth moves around the Sun here, relative to it, the Mercury is also moving on its axis. Further, during the time period Feb 16, March 9, June 18, July 12, and October 14 to November 3, these are the three periods when Mercury went retrograde. So what happened in this case is, as you can see, while moving further at some point, Mercury appears to go backward, right? So when we consider our birth chart, we are considering the position from the Earth. So Mercury appears to move backward and then again goes direct and then again furthers here. Again, this is the retrogression. So three times it has happened during 2020. Now, is it good or bad phenomenon? So first thing is the luminaries, sun and moon never go retrograde. The shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu, are always retrograde, moving backward. This is also the case why in a transit they move backward in a birth chart. So, for instance, right now, as I speak, Ketu is in Leo and Rahu is in Aquarius. When it's going to move backward in the next transit, instead of moving forward just like we do in a birth chart, it's going to go to the Cancer sign. So Ketu will go to Cancer sign, not the Virgo. Not from 5 to 6, but 5 to 4. Now, whether retrogression is good or bad, the simple answer is both. Because the movement itself suggests going backward means you repeat something, you have to redo something. Whereas the direct motion is just about the action and moving forward. Now, retrogression is intense, makes you do repeated tasks, and is also more about internal. Also, retrograde planets appears to give effects of one house backward from where it is placed. It also depends on the degree in a particular house. Now, let's say if it is already moved forward to 28, 29 degree, then it gives very less effect of the previous house, even if it's retrograde. Now, whether exalted or debilitated, retrograde planets are your best karmic resolver, and in a way, they make things intense. They have a deep impact. So they have nothing to do like the opposition of exaltation or debilitation, but more or less, it's more about whatever it happens. In those cases, it happens very deep. And you see that during the Dasha and Antardasha of these planets who are retrograde in your chart, you make contact with new people, you meet people who have some karmic connection with you. Now, the good part of it, it's a messenger of great wisdom because these planets makes you do repeated things. They do provide wisdom after all the struggle that you've gone through. You go deep into thinking, you have deep knowledge about the things, and you also get a chance to fix at the second attempt because few things happens in your life again and again. You also get a chance to learn from your previous attempt and then be successful next time. Also out of box thinking and great experience of living. Such people have a good wisdom that if they sit with a group of people within 5 to 10 minutes, whatever they say, at least most of the people, 80% of them, will benefit from whatever that person has said. And it's useful. Now, is it bad? But instead of considering bad, let's say it's a challenging position because you may be frustrated through delays and repeated things happening with you, the struggle that you can't express, and at times you get misunderstood. Also, a success which is late almost when it means nothing to you. Or if it's like, okay, if it happens now, if it happens, I have nothing to do with it. So these things make it evident that the retrograde planet have an impact on a person where it's more about how you take it, what is your view about them, whether you take it as a hard taskmaster or whether you take it as obstacle is up to everyone's scenario, which planets are involved, right? Like we discussed earlier, sun, moon, Rahu, Ketu have nothing to do with it, or you can say that Rahu, Ketu has everything to do with it, but by default they are the karma, they are the karmic things in nature. And whenever an additional planets get retrograde, then they bring some elements from the house where they are placed, where they aspect, and with other planets they are related to. So, for example, Mercury impacts communication logic, rethinking, chaotic communication, Venus relationship and finance. Sometimes you get reappearance or reunited with the ex, or a pattern of failure or dissatisfaction in relationship. Mars is all about action, courage, energy, misdirected energy. Sometimes in a certain time period in your youth, you have that energy, but it's not directed to the right direction, which eventually you learn as you age. Jupiter is about wisdom and spirituality, more internal, but in retrogression it poses self doubt in self philosophies or the things that you manifest. You're not sure whether you are going in the right direction, or you may also get into false gurus. Saturn is about discipline and karma, and when it's retrograde, you get reoccurring responsibilities you may not need, you may not want, repeated instances of instability that you fight, and you have to preserve with those things. So these are certain areas of life where you are impacted in case of the planets going retrograde. So friends, you are watching the Jupiter retrograde channel. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you like this video.